Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the YouTube gaming community gladly presents to you the Last Minute Gamers Podcast. What's going on, guys? This is the Heavy Metal Zombie from Last Minute Productions at YouTube with my cohorts, L.M Stranger. What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm your favorite YouTuber to hate, Clyde Lofton here.
That's the incomparable Clyde Lofton. Follow him at L.M Stranger on YouTube. Also with us this week, we have the Tech Tower himself, Chevy Boy Swag. Look for him in future episodes of Last Minute Productions. What's going on, buddy?
I'm here. What's going on, guys?
So we doing okay this week, guys? How we doing?
I'm doing fine, keeping busy, working, trying to get laid because, it's always about getting laid,
Oh.
It's not always about games. It's also about getting laid.
Oh.
Remember that, YouTube.
Oh, God. YouTube, do not remember that. Do not remember what this man said. Oh, God. Chevy Boy, how you doing, man?
Man.
Better
I
now,
don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say after that one. He kind of screwed me up on that one a little bit.
Moving right along with the good vibrations here on your favorite Last Minute Podcast. What have we been watching, guys? Any new shows, movies, anything?
The Walking Dead.
That's new to you?
Great TV show. No, it's not new to me. But it's not new, no. But okay, I'm rewatching The Walking Dead on DVD.
Yeah. I've got the first 3 seasons on Blu-ray. I can't wait for the slightly underappreciated season 4 to come out so I can get it too.
Well.
And Star Trek.
And Star Trek. Okay. I like that choice too. I'm more of a Lucas hound instead of a Trekker, but to each their own. Rodney, what about you?
I've actually got a couple of TV shows I've kind of been getting acquainted with, like The 100. The 100. I've kind of been getting intrigued by that. They're only about 4 or 5 episodes into the first season, but it's catching my eye. It's getting me.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Boondocks to come back out. Can't fucking wait. Let's see. What else was I watching? Oh yeah, Believe is actually pretty decent. I kind of got into that. And you're probably gonna hate me when I say this, but Scandal, actually. I've been kind of digging the Scandal a little bit.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
And Chosen. Well, Scandal is based off of a real person, but she's basically like the go-to person. Her name is Olivia Pope. She's like the go-to person for the government, for the White House. Whenever there's like a scandal that happens, she's like the person they call on to make it all just disappear. And it's based off of a real person, actually, that really existed. Or exists. So it's pretty neat, especially when you start watching it and you get to thinking about some of the stuff. Yeah, pretty neat. You should try it. Everybody should check that out.
Sure will.
High praise.
And Chosen. Chosen's funny as hell, too. About a gay white rapper.
Wow.
Pretty funny.
Well, it's well documented that I've been no-lifing Supernatural, so I still got that going. I'm powering through season 5 right now. There's some interesting shit going on. Other than that, I just watched so many shows and movies, too many to name, at least off the top of my head. But another standout right now is the final season, what they're calling season 6 of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, before it got fucking canceled by Disney. I'm enjoying that last season. It's some fucking awesome storytelling. So I'm trying to take that slowly because there's only 13 episodes of it, and it's only a 22-minute show after commercials are all said and done. So I'm enjoying that while it's lasting.
Awesome.
I recommend everybody watch it while you can still get it. So what have we been playing this week, guys?
I've been playing some PC games. I've been playing Alter Ego, SWAT 4, great older game, and some Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Ooh, nice pick.
I've actually went back and started playing some older games. Like, well, of course, my number one game is GTA Online.
Yeah.
But I've been going back and playing some of the other games I've gotten through PlayStation Plus, like BioShock Infinite. I went back and played it some. Devil May Cry. That's actually pretty fun to keep playing through. Oh, and Batman Arkham City. Pretty fun. I still haven't gotten everything unlocked in it and hadn't
One of
found
my
everything.
top 10 games of all time, Batman Arkham City. Good choice.
Game's pretty freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's
But
unreal.
yeah, it's been going back and playing a lot of those. A lot of those games you've been getting on PlayStation. Oh, and Tomb Raider. Played it through again for like the umpteenth time.
As I've stated in the past, Tomb Raider is probably my 2013 game of the year. If it's not, it's The Last of Us, but I kind of lean more towards Tomb Raider. So also, fucking awesome choice. That's probably the best game you can get, bang for your buck on PlayStation Plus right now. So I'm happy they made that, on the list. As far as me, I've really been really playing two games worth noting right now, and that's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I'm about 40 hours into it. It's still awesome. And a free-to-play game on PlayStation Network. It's my favorite fighting game series of all time, and it's the newest entry in it. It's Tekken Revolution. It's a really, really good new entry in the series, so I highly recommend everyone play it. You can get it for free. You don't even have to be a PlayStation Plus member. It's really awesome. So, on to our topics this week, guys. As we start off the show this week, we have, and audience, bear with us because this is going to be the Tech Tower Chevy Boy Swag's topic of discussion this week. Smartphone news. Chevy Boy, give us the rundown of everything happening in the new season of smartphone releases. It's that time of the month. Well, it's that time of the year for smartphones, April. So what's going on?
Well, amidst all the new Androids that came out, two new big flagships like the Galaxy S5 and HTC One M8 that came out, which both phones are pretty good phones, actually really good phones. Yep. I've been hearing rumors about the new iPhone 6 that's supposed to be coming out later this year.
Do tell us.
Bear in mind, these are all rumors, so nothing's been officially confirmed by Apple. But we're looking at maybe a size increase in screen size for the first time in a long time on Apple devices. Well, I believe actually the first time ever. We're talking about going from a 4-inch screen on the 5S to maybe two different variants, a 4.7-inch screen and a 5.5-inch screen, I believe it is.
Damn.
My thing is this. What the fuck took Apple so long to get the picture, if this is the truth? If you look at all the Androids, that's been the trend in Androids for a long time, is big, full HD screens. Apple has not produced a full HD screen yet on any one of their phones. Like the 5S, for example, is a 640 by 1136 resolution. That's not true 1080p. The S4 and the S5 from Galaxy on Samsung, well, 1080. Hell, there's now Sony even released a 4K screen on one of their Android flagships this year.
Wow.
Apple, what are you guys doing? Not good. You're taking too long to catch up. Come on, guys. that's the main thing I'm running across is a lot of rumblings about Apple and their displays going from 4.4 inches from 4 inches up to a 4.7 inch model and a 5 inch model or a 5.5 inch model. I want to know what the viewers think out there. Do they think Apple is really going to actually change up their formula and go with bigger screens this time? Or is this pretty much just gossip and we shouldn't hold our breath for any of this? That's what I want to know.
I don't have a lot to add to this topic, but I will say for a company that's somehow known to be and somehow, inventive and, cutting edge, yeah, I agree, dude. What the fuck took them so long? Apple, that is. What took them so long to get on board with this trend,
I mean, this is
Well, I'm getting ready to make some Apple fanboys mad. I mean, it's well known I make Microsoft fanboys mad.
The incomparable NM Stranger, guys. Listen up.
Okay, HD screens. Wow! Android's been doing that for I don't know how many years. A bigger screen? Whoa! Come on now, Apple. Apple. Come on now. Okay, when I tell people about Apple, if you want to spend more for less, go Apple.
The same as Microsoft with the Xbox One.
Apple's got to change their outlook, and the people that buy that shit is actually the same people that buy Microsoft products.
Boom, knockout blow. I've been saying that for years.
Okay, they can call it I shit, and they'll still buy it. Okay, Steve Jobs, before he died, if he would have got on screen, took a big dump, and said, "Here's introducing I shit," the fanboys would go, "Yay!" and they'll run and they'll get it. It's that bad. That's all I really got to say about that. I'm sorry, but yeah. Buy Android.
Please, if you have a brain, buy an Android. If you don't want to be, if you want to be an individual, buy an Android.
I'm not gonna go to the extremes that the incomparable NM Stranger just went to, but yes, I agree. I'm an Android, not fanboy, but a supporter of Android all the way, and it all stems to this. Like we gave you in our second episode, vote with your wallet and think for yourself. If you want choice, if you're a fan of freedom and options, go Android. If you want the option for multiple different carriers, go Android. If you want the option for many different manufacturers, go Android. If you want, screen size options, go Android. It's all about choice and freedom. Whereas if you go with Apple, you're with Apple.
Go Android or go I shit.
I mean, seriously. They are truly behind though. The fingerprint scanner that everybody raves about, it's been done years ago. Called the Motorola Atrix. Did it years ago.
Yeah, that's an Android phone, yeah.
An early Android at that. Been done years ago. I mean, if you look at iOS 7, 90% of that shit came from past Android models, basically.
Speaking of Android models, Chevy Boy, isn't there some kind of rumbling about a premium S5 or something like that?
There has been some rumors. And
what do you got about that?
There's been some supposed rumors and supposedly leaked benchmarks, as you can say, for a new higher-end version of the Galaxy S5. Which, if anybody knows me, knows that I do like Galaxy. Matter of fact, I still have a Galaxy S3 that I just can't bear to part with because it's been an amazing phone. But there are rumors that some of the rumors are that the screen will be a not 4K screen, but a 2K screen. Which still going to look amazing on such a small screen anyway. There's rumors that we could see a bump in size, a bump in the megapixels on the 16 from the 16 to. Really hadn't specified how big a bump it'll be, but I know it's supposed to be a bump as far as a little bit bigger megapixel count. Also, the screen, like I said, they're not supposed to be moving up the screen size or anything. From what I'm seeing, the screen size, the rumors are saying that the screen size will stay the same at, I think, 5.1 inches, but will be, like I said, a 2K display. And the biggest change will be from a plastic body, which is what Samsung has used forever in their smartphones, to a all metal design, similar to like the HTC Ones have been doing. My biggest question is, if they do that, will I lose my main thing I care about, which is a replaceable battery? Because if you notice, most all metal phones usually don't have a replaceable battery. That's my thing. I might not want to use a factory battery. I might want to use like I've seen some that have a 7200 milliamp battery that I've seen before for these phones. I might want one of those. That's my main thing. Are we going to lose that? Am I going to lose the memory card slot that we have? Because as you know, the S5s can support up to 128 gig memory cards out the box, which is humongous.
Yeah, there's not even anything that supports 128 right now besides them. Am I correct?
Well, there's the S5 and the S5 does, and the HTC One M8 can handle up to 128 gig memory cards. I haven't seen of any other phones. Oh, and there's trying to remember, there is one Windows phone, I think, that can handle 128 gigs. But I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
You guys talking Spanish to me. I have no idea what... all I know is options are good.
Yep.
Always good, but that's not my specialty.
Vote with your wallet. Do what makes you happy. Don't do what everyone else does. If that's what kind of person you are, you're an Apple fan.
Yeah, because I can't see myself using Apple. Hell, there's no choices, no nothing. You have to do what they tell you to do.
There's no personality, so...
But that's the main rumblings I've been seeing and hearing so far. Okay. Other than the new LG phone, which is the LG G3.
I hadn't heard anything about this one now.
Well, the only thing I've seen about it is the actual display. It's supposed to be a actual 4K display or quad display, however you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, Ultra HD. I want to see one in person. I would love to see a 4K display. I would love to see what LG does with a 4K display on a phone, because their TVs, I must say, are freaking amazing. So I would love to see what technology how they can produce, what they can do with the 4K screen on a phone. Because they already gave us a 3D cell phone before in the LG Optimus, which was just fucking awesome. Or the LG.
I have an LG TV.
Yeah, LG make good stuff in general.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Freaking awesome. But that's about it so far that I've seen.
And, of course, you can rely on Chevy Boy Swag to give us all, even us here at the podcast who don't know exactly what we're talking about, as much as he does, me too, in regards to smartphone tech, right here on the podcast. So up next in our topic line of discussion for the week, guys, there's been a lot of rumblings, a lot of hoopla going around about all this fancy new VR technology. What with it being the announcements of Oculus Rift about to go not just through beta, but into the open market, it being purchased by Facebook, Sony's option with, what do they call it, Project Morpheus, and rumblings that even Xbox have their own version that they've been working on for years. So the second topic of the week, I should say, is what are our thoughts on VR tech in general, and how is it going to affect gaming as we know it?
Personally, I do not think it's going to affect it that much, I think VR tech in general is not going to take off until there's, it's the headpiece thing. People does not want to take a headpiece, put it on your head, and move around like you're a fool, you know what I'm saying? But I think, personally, I think it's gimmicky, You guys probably will disagree with me, but personally, I think it's gimmicky. And VR tech may sound good, and may check it out because I'm curious, but it's going to be like 3D, 3D TVs and all that. It's just going to be gimmicky, and it's probably going to die in a few years. And that's all I got to say about that.
Well, that's very interesting because he made some good points on that. Because the main objection to a lot of people wearing, like with 3D TVs, the main objection I run across with people not wanting a 3D TV is having to put something physically on their face, like glasses. That's the main objection I could see to somebody not wanting to do the VR headsets and all that, is because of the fact that they would have to wear this thing on their face. Now, as far as it being gimmicky, I kind of feel like it could turn into a gimmicky situation. If they just like throw it out there and it's just there just to like get your attention, and then they don't really invest in it and really try to do something interesting with it. Because, like I said, I do disagree with the idea of the TV, 3D TVs being just a gimmick. Because I personally have one, and to me, there's nothing better than playing a game in 3D, and to me, that just immerses you in the game even more. So, one of the things we'll have to really wait until it's actually out, like actually available to get our hands on it and see where it goes. But it's going to be a tough sell for some people. It's going to be a tough sell to some people because of the fact that you are going to have to put this thing on your head and wear it while you're playing. That's going to be tough to sell that. So that's what I believe. Anything you want to add?
I can't see 3D, so I really I suffer from a condition called lazy eye.
Oh.
And I can't see 3D, so I cannot enjoy the benefits of 3D, unfortunately. VR may be different, I'm hoping.
You guys bring up good points on both sides. Okay, how do I word this? VR is a long damn ways away right now. I don't see it being a thing, really. It's all just talk and something fancy and cool sounding right now. It's not going to be a thing for another 10 years. Now, am I a fan of it? I don't care either way. In regards to gaming, don't like it. It all comes back to the controller, man. Everyone just wants to play a game, sit back on their couch, on their big screen TV, don't want to have to be over encumbered with glasses or a headset specifically. They just want the simplicity of coming home after a long days of work, popping in a game on their big HD 1080 or 4K soon to be screen on their display with a controller in their hand, enjoying their game with no worries. That's how it always is, always has been. And even like the little flashes of, of innovation, I guess, like the original Wii with the motion controls. Yeah, it sold a lot of systems, man. A lot of grannies love playing bowling. That's for damn sure. A lot of people love Wii Fit. but it came back. It died off. It all comes back to the controller, the simplicity, the the fun, and the lack of worry you have to do, and the no intimidation level of just playing with a controller. Now, in regards to VR being used for college dorm rooms and transmitting you into a classroom even if you're not really there, that's all good and okay, man. But it's going to be a long ways away. And in regards to gaming in specific, I don't see it catching on. I agree with Stranger over here, Clyde. I think it's going to be, in regards to gaming, the 3D 2.0, where it's just a next step up from that, and it's not going to catch on. It's, at best, going to be a fad.
I think VR will actually take off when first, a TV where you don't need glasses or anything. You just turn it on, and it pops out, and you're there. As long as it's
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. You can go on.
And actually, as far as that goes, there have been reports that there are some TVs that do 3D without needing glasses. And I think one of them was LG. But as far as like you said about that, I think the hardest thing is going to be the big deciding point about whether or not that really takes off as far as the VR goes is price point. How much is it going to cost me to buy this thing out the store? And what games are going to support this? What systems are going to support it? Well, I mean, how easy is it going to be for the normal average Joe to pick this thing up, go home with it, hook it up, and start playing with it? That's going to be the main thing. If they can't get those main points down, they might as well not even put it out there in the first place.
All reasons it's going to be a fad. All reasons it's going to be a fad. Because you're not going to get the price right until at least, probably 5 years after, it hits mass market. And by that time, yeah, they'll be affordable. But one, either something new will already be coming out, or two, the fad will be over by that point.
It kind of reminds me of the Virtual Boy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. I get that feeling.
Nintendo fanboys don't want to talk about that.
I think they do. I don't even think Nintendo fanboys are proud of the Virtual Boy.
That was a disgrace. That was horrible. I actually owned one of those.
What's sad is, to me, I don't see that much of an improvement over like what they've been showing off, what you see nowadays of Oculus and the Virtual Boy itself. Yeah, I get it. It's not red and black and blinding, but the headset is so cumbersome and huge and stupid looking and just off-putting, man. I don't want to do that. Do you guys really want to fucking wear that?
Not really. It feels like, it probably hurt my neck or give me a headache.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking move my head back and forth while I'm trying to relax and play a game, dude.
Well, to me, it's going to depend on how it's built. I mean, if it's going to have to be shrunk down a lot smaller than what it actually is from what I've seen now.
Yeah,
what I've seen
right.
now is humongous. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
And as much as I love 3D technology and stuff like that, I mean, for God's sake, I bought a 3D Android phone at one point in time. So, I mean, as much as I love that idea of being fully immersed in the world of, like, Lost of Us or Last of Us, or let's see, The Last of Us or Grand Theft Auto, something like that, they're going to have to, the price is going to have to be pretty cheap, which, as you pointed out, by the time it gets cheap, there'll be something new out that's going to cost more than what that one cost in the first place when it came out. And they're going to have to make sure that it's easy enough to where the average Joe that walks in, Bob from down the street walks in and decides to buy it, can take it home and hook it up. Like, I mean, it's just going to have to be that simple. And at first, I don't think it's going to be that simple at all. I think it's going to be very cumbersome, and it's going to be very only people that's gonna really want it at first is going to be like the true hardcore nerds out there. And I say that with all the love and respect, because I'm a nerd my own self.
Oh, we all are. We don't question that. But I've already started repeating myself in this topic, but I'll finish it with this. It comes back to the controller, man. That's always done that, and it always will.
Hey, can't go wrong now on some of that stuff, because I will say this: now, Nintendo might be gimmicky, but there were some games that I played on the Wii that I honestly enjoyed more on the Wii than on the PlayStation or the Xbox because of the controller that they had. Like the Star Wars game, Force Unleashed. I don't know if y'all even remember that or not, but
yeah, man, I'm a huge Star Wars fanatic, and those games were awesome.
And I loved that game, but I liked it more on the Wii because of the controls. Hell, even Lego Indiana Jones was actually more fun on the Wii than on the PlayStation or Xbox.
To each their own.
You only named the only two multiplats that ever came on the Wii.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, because I didn't want to name just Nintendo exclusives, because of course those are going to have the upper hand anyway, because they're developed exclusively for the Nintendo, exclusively for that controller set. Whereas multiplats have to be developed for multiple consoles pretty much at the same time. So you don't get as much. To me, you don't get as much. How do I say this? You kind of miss out sometimes, because instead of them taking that extra time on it because it's being developed for that one console to get an amazing experience, you end up having to split your time between 3, 4, consoles at one time. Sometimes even 5 if you count PS Vita or PSP back in the day, and the Nintendo DS and PS3 and PS3 and the Xbox 360 and Nintendo Wii at the same time. Some game. Oh, and Need for Speed. What was it? It was a Need for Speed game that came out that I like better on the Wii. And that says a lot, seeing how I'm a big Sony guy. Just saying.
But in closing, I think we all kind of agree we're iffy, on the fence to say the very least, about this whole virtual reality tech. Am I right?
Very.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to close the topic so we can move on. Especially with this generation being not even 6 months old yet, quit fucking wasting our time and your time trying to develop for this shit, and give us some AAA must-have system sellers, dude. For both consoles, all 3 of them, really.
It's gonna be kind of hard for Nintendo. Just saying.
Moving right along. It's official now, guys. The Amazon Fire TV has been released and is now available for $100. This set-top box features 1080p streaming of your Netflix, HBO Go, Hulu, YouTube, all those standards that we've come to know and love and expect out of our streaming boxes. But it also is a competitor to the Ouya in regards to Android gaming. It's been widely known that Amazon's trying to get into the games market for years now, and it looks like they've accomplished that, at least, in its early stages, with this Amazon Fire TV. It's practically, if you take a Roku box and a Ouya and put it together in regards to features. I'm lukewarm on Android gaming, to say the least, but from what all it features in regards to streaming and quality, I mean, it's a pretty nice box. $100, and if you want the controller to game with, it's an extra $40. What do you guys think about the Amazon Fire TV?
I mean, I like it for what it is. I mean, I was scared that Amazon would say, hey, here's a competitor to, PS4 and Xbox One. They're not doing that. They're saying, hey, this is kind of like Apple TV. you know, but it also plays games, and it does a hell of a lot more features than all the other competition does. I mean, it does voice search, you know, which the only DVR that does that is the Xbox One. You know, HDMI. I mean, optical audio, which only Apple TV does that. A quad-core processor, which is overly powered for a set-top box.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It does have a quad core, which is huge.
You know, it has all the features except HBO Go. You know, there's Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, Hulu Plus, Crackle, YouTube, Showtime Anytime, Watch ESPN, Bloomberg TV, VVO, and Pandora. And supposedly there's 100+ games on it, you know, from huge-ass developers and stuff. So it's interesting. Will I get it? No. But for what it is, I think it's going to succeed for what it is, because it's not trying to be a PS4, trying to be a Xbox One. You know, it's trying to do a niche market, you know, set-top box that plays games, you know, and I think it's going to succeed where the Ouya didn't, because it's Amazon. Amazon has money out of the ass.
Yeah, they can
support it.
Yeah, they will definitely support this thing. That's for damn sure.
You know, they bought a studio that made that Xbox game, that fighting game. I can't think of it top of my head. Yeah, bought that studio out. I'm assuming just to make games for this, let's call it console, set-top box, hybrid thing. So I think it'll do well, you know. I think it'll do well.
Chevy Boy, what do you think?
I'm kind of on the fence a little bit about it, because for one thing, yes, it does voice searches, but it's not the only set-top box in town that does voice searches, because there is the Sony Google TV that came out a couple of years ago. I think they're on like their second or third generation of it. Absolutely love that set-top box. It does voice search also. And now there's a lot more TVs that's incorporating the like Google TV and stuff into the TV that does voice searching. So I mean, yeah, that's a cool feature, but I don't know if that can sway me away after using an actual Sony Google TV. I don't know if that thing there can kind of sway me away from that. I mean, I like the idea that it's a quad-core processor and something like that, which means it should have shit ton of power to handle whatever you want to do on it, just about. But I don't know. After seeing some of the things I've seen about how you don't get the full experience if you're not an Amazon Prime member, I'm not really sure about that, because I'm not a Prime member, and I personally just have had no reason to become a Prime member. So I don't know. I kind of feel like, I mean, it's just being me. I kind of feel like if I wanted a gaming system, if I wanted to game on my TV, I'll just use my PlayStation or my Xbox or Wii, whatever. I don't know. I just don't see myself spending, what is it, $100 on that? $100,
yeah, $100 for the streaming box itself. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a cool idea. I'm happy that Amazon threw their hat into the ring and said, hey, let me see what I can offer. But I can see it doing well in some areas, but I don't know. It's too early. They're going to have to really, really, really make sure that they keep up support and that they keep pushing it as hard as they can, because I don't want it to turn into another Ouya. Because I was so excited about the Ouya when I first heard about it. But now, I wouldn't even buy an Ouya.
Well, I think this is a fantastic little box. In regards to it being, you know, a gaming device, I'm not big by any means on smartphone, tablet, you know, mobile gaming. In fact, I don't even own a single mobile game on any of my devices. But I like the idea of it getting there, of Amazon dipping their toes into the water as you could say, and starting off small in a niche market like Clyde said, they can only grow it from there. I'm sure, like you said also, Clyde, that they bought that studio, and I can't remember their name right now, but I'm sure they bought them just for developing games on this and any other, consoles they may come out with even after this, specifically for themselves at Amazon. Now, would I get one? An Amazon Fire TV? I absolutely would if I streamed video enough and if I needed one enough to merit a third streaming option in my home because I already own, then this is just me, I know this, but me personally, I already own two PlayStation 3s, and one of them is almost exclusively for, video purposes, whether it be Blu-ray, music videos, the occasional, Amazon Prime video services, whatever have you. But on paper, this is a fantastic little device. I'd even go out as far to say probably your best option. And for people like me and Clyde who are Amazon Prime members, this is the best thing on the market by far.
Name of the developers, Double Helix, by the way.
Double Helix, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I had to look it up. I actually decided to look it up.
I mean,
and I'm seeing what game they made for the Xbox One. I think, Killer Instinct.
Oh yeah, yep, exclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, just out of the box, you got games like Minecraft, The Walking Dead, which was my 2012 game of the year, and Monsters University, which nobody cares about. But Minecraft and Walking Dead, boom, right out of the box. Those are, fantastic games. Minecraft has sold 21 million copies on mobile devices alone. That's not even counting PC, Xbox, or PlayStation sales. So that's going to be huge for Amazon and this Fire TV. Quad-core processor. This thing's huge, man. $100. And like I said again, if you're a Prime member, it only gets better from there. I'd recommend it, man. I'm not big on streaming, but if I had to get one, this would be my go-to option. What do you guys think?
I mean, I normally stream on a PC or a PS3, but if I didn't have those options, and I heard it's integrated into the system, it is a valid option.
And see, for me, that would be a tough choice. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you are an Amazon Prime member, yes, forget the Rokus, forget all the other players. Go ahead and get the Amazon because you're just going to get a way better experience out of it, better than anything else is going to put out for Amazon Prime members, especially if you're a big user of Amazon Prime. That's like the main thing that you stream through, which I know some people that's their main thing that they stream through. Yes, go ahead and get it. But for me, I would be torn between. There's 3 different products on the market. I'd be torn between that, the Chromecast for its simplicity and price, of course, at only like $35, and of course the Sony Google TV because of all the other features that it has also. So I mean, I would be torn between those three. Chromecast because it's cheap, pretty simple to set up. Amazon because it's something kind of new with the ability to play games and things like that right there on the TV. Especially if you buy if you buy the separate controller, which I feel like should have been included in the box, maybe for a little bit higher price tag. I would even say maybe $120 or so if you bought it together. Maybe so. I think it should have been in there, especially if that's one of the main features of it. Like one of the main things they're touting about it is, hey, you can play games on it. Okay, well, where's my controller? And then there's the Sony Google TV, which, for all intents, is basically a Android device, basically, full-fledged Android device, basically, on your TV with full access to Google Play, Google Chrome coming out the box on it, you know, a full QWERTY keyboard on it, trackpad, all that stuff. But considerably a little bit higher. I think they're like 130 or 140. So it's a hard decision for me. I think I'm going to need to play with an actual Amazon Fire TV a little bit more before I can honestly say which one I would choose between the three of them.
Right. Point being, I guess if you're a Prime member, just like if you're an iPhone user, which we're not going to get into again because we already went into topic about. If you're an iPhone user, you're going to get an Apple TV. If you've got a lot of money and features invested in Amazon and their services, get this box because you get the most complete services. But even if you're not, man, this thing is a beast when it comes to power and features. So it's going to do well. Like Clyde said, it is backed by Amazon. They are actually the manufacturers, and Amazon's a trusted and renowned retailer and servicer at this point. So look for it to do very well. And I really look forward to the second iteration, see what comes of it. All right. Now, rolling along, I guess this is going to be our final topic of the night. And as of April 16th, Sony has officially announced their PlayStation Now-enabled 4K Bravia TVs. They have 9 different models, ranging in price from $2,100 to $25,000. These, of course, will be PlayStation Now enabled, meaning you can play your PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 1 classics right off of it through their streaming service, as long as you have a DualShock 3 connected. I don't know exactly how I feel about this. What about you guys?
Personally, I think it's the next iteration of that service. You know, I think it's going to be on most TVs, kind of like smart apps, you know, on most smart TVs. You know, like you can like do Netflix and all that. You can do PlayStation Now. You know, I think it's going to be on computers. I think it's going to be on Android devices. It may even be on Apple devices, but who knows? I know what it's not going to be on, the Xbox One.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Xbox. Another shot.
Hi-oh.
But yeah, I mean, I think stuff like that's actually the future, because I think the consoles are going to eventually die. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but I think streaming services is going to be the future. You know, and I think PlayStation Now is the first iteration of that future. And that's all I got to say.
How do I feel about it? Well, I think that yes, consoles will eventually die, and this will be pretty much it. But my main concern is internet service. That's my main question. Is the internet fast enough? Can you even get internet fast enough, like a normal person in a normal home, actually be able to afford to pay for the internet speed that you would need to successfully stream an entire PS3 game to your TV over the wireless internet or through a hardline connection? The question
The quick
is,
answer in America is, in most places, no.
That's what I'm saying. And to me, that is what's going to hurt the service. Because as annoying as it is to be watching a movie on Netflix and then have to wait for it to buffer in the middle of the movie, what if you're playing a game, you know, some PS3 game, like just say, like when they showed off like The Last of Us and stuff like that. What if you're in the middle of streaming the game to your TV and playing it, then all of a sudden, because your internet's not fast enough, your game freezes and you're in the middle of a big boss fight? That would be annoying as hell to me anyway. Next, I also think, even though these are just PS3, PS2, and PS1 games, I would like to see support for the PS4 controller. And hear me out, because I know this sounds crazy, but because of the touch sensor, the touchpad on the PS4 controller, I think there's a chance to open up an even bigger world of games that can be streamed through PlayStation Now that could maybe be designed to support the PlayStation 4 controller and touch sensibility, like the PS Vita did with touch on it. I mean, there's some games on Vita that support the rear touchpad and the touch screen. And to me, that adds a lot of value to it. I guess my main thing is just going to be the internet speed, the connection speeds. Is that going to help? Is that going to hinder it so bad that nobody will want to use that feature? Nobody will want to use that service because they can't get internet fast enough to support a full-on 1080 or 720 PS3 game. That's my main thing I'm wondering about.
Well, they did announce, and they didn't give too many details, but this Bravia line, they did say there's going to be 9 different models, and again, ranging from $2,100, that's $2,100 for you slow ones out there, up to $25,000. What I'm really interested in off the bat is, now these are all 4K Bravia TVs. Bear in mind that was the topic. I want to know which one's only $2,000, man. I want to know if it's a little bitty 19-inch 4K TV. Is it a 32-inch? Is it a 50? I want to know what it is, man. And secondly, if that's the cheapest one, I want to know if it's going to have PlayStation Now enabled, fully, whatever have you, because that advanced of a TV, especially Sony with their Bravias with the enhanced speakers built in with the wedge design, that's a value. If you can get one as low as $2,100, I want more details. Give us more info, Sony. As far as PlayStation Now being incorporated into these officially, they made this announcement in regards to PlayStation Now quite a few months ago. I did not see them officially announcing any devices this soon that it's supported with. And frankly, you're right with the internet connection speeds, Rodney. I don't see it working out well at all in the immediate time frame.
The one thing I'm interested in knowing, because they're 4K TVs, will the games be upscaled to 4K? That's what I really want to know.
That also is a strong point to bring up.
And see, one issue with that, let's see, right there would still go back to internet connection speeds. Because
I agree.
I mean, 4K is more data that you would have to stream. So you're going from streaming, a 1080p game or 720p game that might be, 7, 8 gigs, maybe 9 gigs or so. I think is the biggest game I've ever downloaded on the PlayStation 3. Ain't no telling how big of a file you'd have to have then that you're streaming, that you're not downloading beforehand, but basically temporarily downloading as you're playing. I mean,
there's no way.
To me, that would just.
There's no fucking way.
I just don't see that. I don't see that working well at all for a normal household with the normal internet connections you can get now. That's going to be something that maybe, as you said, Corey, a few years down the line will be commonplace. That'll just be expected of a TV because the internet connection to be up to par will be able to handle whatever. But now, if they release it now and make that a big deal, I believe it's not going to do good. It's not going to do well. There's just not the internet speed to connect it. To support that yet. Not everywhere. And as far as the TV that's $2,100, I'm willing to bet it's going to be something like maybe only a 60 hertz TV. It's
Mm.
probably going to be like 1080 or 720. I mean, well, it's going to be 4K. I don't know why I said that, but it's probably going to be like a 4K 60 hertz TV with probably not as good a contrast ratio as some of its bigger brothers or so.
Sure.
It's probably going to, like you said, be a smaller screen size, like maybe 32 or maybe even a 40 inch, somewhere in that area. Because, dear God, the 55 inches are still going for almost $3,000 now.
Yeah.
You know, right now. And that's a 4K 120 hertz TV, you know.
Strong
without
question. Very strong question brought up by NM Stranger, who you can subscribe to here on YouTube. Again, for you guys out there, they haven't announced too many facts about this yet. But, Clyde, I bet money these will not be streamed in 4K video. I bet bottom dollar it will be 720 max,
Yeah.
because of bandwidth and, internet speed. We're not running on Google Fiber yet, at least not in America. So that's not going to happen. I bet.
Yeah, my connection sucks, so, yeah.
Well, we're not in some of the lucky cities in America that have it, because there are a couple of cities that's got it.
Yeah,
here and
very
there.
few.
Yeah, it's like one or two.
And on top of that, like, okay, even if they could, let's say they could stream, 4K video through a television without, some kind of proprietary media player. It's not going to be on a PlayStation 3 game. I bet money it's not going to be that. Maybe on a PS1 version of Tomb Raider 3. Or maybe Vice City on PS2 upscaled. But you're not going to, at least at launch, and several years after that, we're not going to see these Last of Us, Tomb Raider, BioShock, DMC, Uncharted 3, PS3, PlayStation Now streaming services in 4K. Not through a television. No way. It's not going to happen.
I mean, hell, we're not even seeing consoles with physical disc drives have 4K games yet. I mean, even though, granted, Netflix did one time say something about streaming 4K movies, but I can guarantee that's probably going to suck too. Because the main thing all this goes back to is the internet. That's going to be probably the only problem with that service is going to be the internet. It's probably going to be the only thing wrong with it, to be honest.
Another thing, these are pricey as is. One, it's a 4K television. Two, it's got PlayStation Now embedded into it. So, who knows how much that really, raises the cost to the consumer. And then another thing we have to question is we still don't know how PlayStation Now will be incorporated to your Sony services. Do you get it as a benefit of being a PlayStation Plus member? Is it in addition to? Do you have to have both? How does that affect a 4K Bravia TV with PlayStation Now enabled on it? You see?
I want to see the specs. I want to see the contrast ratio, stuff like that.
My only concern about the service, to be honest with you, is I'm concerned they'll charge you per title.
On some kind of rental basis?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Or you can buy it.
If I'm going to buy it, though, see, that's the problem with this whole PlayStation Now thing. If I'm going to buy it, I want it on Blu-ray, or I want it, at very least, as a digital download. Because at that point, I'm done fucking streaming. I want it on my system and be able to play it, unencumbered. No issues.
I mean, I want to see how this is going to work out, because this could be just an empty promise. I mean, at the end of the day. I mean, this could be something that they say they're going to deliver on, and then it doesn't happen. Like, I don't know, remote play on the PSP back in the day, where you could play games from the PS3 on your PSP, which never really happened. Or like the case in point, the PlayStation phone. where you could play, or PlayStation Mobile, I mean, that they announced back in E3 or so a while back, where you'd be able to like play straight up PS3 games on Android devices, and they were going to partner with HTC and these other companies to build phones just that
couldn't make it happen.
Powerful enough to run them. And
couldn't
yet,
make it happen.
it's been what, 2 years now, and haven't seen a single phone yet that does it or can handle it. You know, not at the full frames per second that the consoles can do it at, or the full resolution that the consoles can do it at.
Yeah.
I'm afraid this is going to be an empty promise.
Well, we're running out of time, peoples. You know, so let's try to. I'm lost in thought.
It's a touchy subject, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's an untested service on top of all this, and I don't.
There's a lot of unknowns.
I mean, you're incorporating PlayStation Now, which isn't even really out yet, on top of a new technology as is that hasn't caught on called 4K. It's risky, but I'll leave it at this, and we can end it for the night with your guys' thoughts. If anyone can do it, Sony can. You know, this is the same company that helped, you know, manufacture DVD and make it big, and then on top of that, made Blu-ray the standard nowadays. So if they have faith in 4K, you know, who am I to doubt them?
4K is the future, just the content has to come.
It does, yeah. Maybe this can be the precedent.
Yeah, well, if Sony's supporting it, the content will come.
That's one thing you can say about Sony. If they get behind something, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be here to stay.
Exactly.
Case in point, Blu-ray versus HD DVD.
Very solid point.
Right there.
Sony have always been the innovators, and this isn't even fanboyism talking to any of you trolls who may be watching. I mean, go back. You know, the Walkman. Boom. Revolutionary. Blu-ray. Boom. Revolutionary. Anything major in regards to tech, Sony may have not necessarily led the charge, but we're at the forefront regardless. So if they're behind 4K, I have no doubts it's going to be the next big thing. Let's just get them out in the market. Let's make PlayStation Now, let's make it a viable option and see how it goes, so we have something to base it off of.
I mean, even Betamax was actually better than VCR, even though they lost. Still was technically better than VCR.
Oh yeah, and yeah, absolutely. Another fine example. YouTube gaming community, we'd like to thank you all for joining us again on episode, what is this now, Clyde, 4, 5?
Episode 4. Episode
4 of the Last Minute Gamers Podcast. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe to us on YouTube, where we are at L.M Stranger, where the podcast posts, and look for Chevy Boy Swag and Heavy Metal Zombie at Last Minute Productions on YouTube.
Links will be in the description.
As always, links will be in the description. Our takeaway topic of the week. Hey, did you stop recording?
No.
Oh, shit. Well, you're going to have to edit this shit out.
Oh, I was wondering why you stopped talking.
Well, I just heard a whole lot of nothing, and I was like, oh, shit.
Our takeaway topic is?
Our takeaway topic of the week is plot overrated in gaming? I personally think that's the stupidest thing I've ever been asked, but it's for you, the viewers, to decide. Leave us your opinions in the comments below. As always, thanks for joining us, guys. And remember, failure is just another opportunity to start fresh, only this time with more experience.